In northern Texas, within Denton County, there lies a small town called Copper Canyon. Connecting this town to Denton is a seemingly ordinary, modest bridge. At just 32 meters in length, the Alton Bridge might not look like much at first glance, an old, weathered wooden structure that seems to have outlived its prime. However, beneath its aging exterior lies a chilling tale of hauntings, mysterious sightings, and eerie occurrences that have baffled locals and visitors for decades. The bridge, despite its size and simplicity, has become notorious over the years, surrounded by a web of ghost stories and supernatural legends. What makes this location even more unnerving are the countless reports from people claiming to hear unsettling noises as they cross it. These noises aren't just the usual creaks and groans of an old structure. We're talking about blood-curdling screams, footsteps that echo as if someone is walking right behind you, yet when you turn, no one is there. People have spoken of being scratched or even attacked by unseen forces. These experiences have made the Alton Bridge one of the most infamous haunted locations in the entire United States. In fact, it's often listed among the top 5 haunted places in the country. It's no surprise that thrill seekers, ghost hunters, and paranormal enthusiasts are drawn to the bridge. Many claim that the haunting is the work of a legendary figure known as the Goatman. But who, or what, is the Goatman? To understand this, we need to delve deeper into the origins of the legend and the history surrounding the bridge. The early history of Denton County and Alton Bridge. Our story begins in the mid-1800s, specifically around 1846, when Denton County was still in its infancy. Back then, the county's officials were searching for a suitable location to house the governmental institutions. They initially settled on a small town called Benconville. It was supposed to be a promising new hub for growth, but nature had other plans. A severe water shortage forced the county to rethink their decision after just 2 years. A new location was chosen on a series of elevated hills about a kilometer away from the original site. This new settlement was named Alton. It seemed like a fresh start for the county, but, unfortunately, the water problems followed them there as well. The town never grew as expected, and, in fact, it remained almost entirely deserted except for one lone resident. Alton would eventually fade into obscurity, but the bridge named after it would not. Fast forward to 1884, when a company called King Iron took it upon themselves to build a new bridge to connect Denton with the nearby city of Copper Canyon. This was a vital link for trade and transport, especially for livestock. The bridge was constructed from wood and steel, and it soon became a crucial crossing point for cattle ranchers and traders. Known as the Alton Bridge, it was a lifeline for the local economy. But as the years went by, newer, larger bridges were built in the area, bridges that could accommodate two-way traffic and handle larger loads. Alton Bridge, with its narrow, one-way design, became obsolete. Slowly, people stopped using it, opting instead for more modern crossings. The area surrounding the bridge grew increasingly desolate, and the once bustling trade route became eerily quiet. The start of the hauntings. For a time, the bridge was forgotten, used only by the occasional pedestrian. But soon, stories began to circulate about strange happenings on the bridge. People reported hearing odd sounds, noises that seemed to come from the surrounding woods, even when no one was there. The river below the bridge would sometimes appear to ripple and move in unnatural ways, as if something was lurking just beneath the surface. And then there were the shadows, giant, looming figures that would appear among the trees, only to vanish without a trace. It wasn't just one or two people making these claims, hundreds of individuals experienced these phenomena, and the reports kept coming in. But perhaps the most disturbing accounts were those involving a creature, one that locals began to call the Goatman. Witnesses described seeing a massive figure standing at the far end of the bridge, waiting as if anticipating their arrival. This creature was unlike anything they had ever seen before. Its body was that of a man, but it was covered from head to toe in thick, black fur. Its head, however, was unmistakably that of a goat, complete with enormous, curling horns. As soon as someone would step onto the bridge, the creature would begin to move toward them, letting out terrifying growls. Just as it seemed ready to attack, the Goatman would vanish, leaving the witness in a state of shock and disbelief. The legend of the Goatman. The legend of the Goatman isn't unique to Alton Bridge. Similar stories of half-man, half-goat creatures exist in folklore across various cultures. In Western mythology, this figure is often associated with a faun or a satyr, creatures that are half human and half goat, known for their mischievous and sometimes malevolent behavior. The Goatman at Alton Bridge, however, has a much darker reputation. According to local legend, the creature that haunts the bridge isn't a faun, but rather the vengeful spirit of a man named Oscar. Oscar was a successful African-American goat herder who lived just north of the bridge with his family in the late 19th century. Over the years, Oscar gained quite a reputation for his expertise in goat trading. His success brought him both wealth and prominence, and in a moment of pride, he hung a sign on the bridge that read, "This way to the Goatman." It was a play on words, both a reference to his profession and a boastful claim to be the greatest of all time, or GOAT. However, in 1938, Oscar's success caught the attention of the local Ku Klux Klan. Angered by his prosperity and the pride he took in his heritage, the Klan decided to teach Oscar a brutal lesson. One night in August, they stormed Oscar's home, dragging him from his bed while his terrified family watched. They took him to the Alton Bridge, where they tied a noose around his neck, fastened the other end to the bridge, and threw him over the side. But when the Klansmen looked down, expecting to see Oscar's lifeless body hanging from the noose, they were shocked. The rope was empty, and Oscar had disappeared. Panicked, they rushed to the river below, searching for his body, but found nothing. In a fit of rage and confusion, they returned to Oscar's home and set it on fire with his wife and children still inside, hoping that he would return to save them. But Oscar never showed up. After that night, strange things began to happen at the bridge. Many believe that Oscar's spirit returned, transformed into the Goatman, to seek revenge on those who wronged him. Over the years, countless people have reported seeing his figure standing on the bridge, waiting silently, as if watching over the place where he met his tragic end. The haunting continues. The legend of the Goatman has persisted for generations, but it's not the only story linked to the Alton Bridge. Some people believe that the haunting isn't just the work of Oscar's vengeful spirit, but also the ghost of Steve, the leader of the KKK group that killed him. Steve was known for his violent temper and his involvement in occult practices. Some say that Steve's spirit is trapped on the bridge, doomed to suffer for his actions. Visitors to the bridge often report feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, as if they're being watched by unseen eyes. Others have heard the sound of hooves clattering on the wooden planks, even though no animal is in sight. There are even stories of people being physically lifted and thrown from the bridge by an invisible force, echoing the way Oscar was thrown to his death. Adding to the eerie atmosphere are the remnants of satanic rituals that have been performed on the bridge over the years. Symbols of dark magic have been found carved into the wooden beams, and animal bones, mostly cats and small animals, have been discovered scattered around the area. It's believed that these rituals have drawn negative energy to the bridge, possibly attracting not just spirits, but darker entities.